Here I am, ready to make y'all mad yet again. So I can already tell that this video is going to be pretty long, and I know there's going to be people in the comments, people talking about Adrian. This is just one clip because the clip I'm talking about is from the show The Shop, Uninterrupted, and I think it's an advertisement, basically a trailer for season 2, episode 3, and it's just 1 minute long. So I know there are going to be people in my comments talking about, Adrian, this clip is just 1 minute long. You ain't even seen the whole show yet. How can you make such a long video about such a short clip? And it's just like, because there's so much packed into that 1 minute that I need to talk about it all, because I was just ranting and raving on Twitter. Now, I'll preface this by saying that, you know, the people on The Shop, I think there's like Charlemagne on there, Paul Rivera, Kevin Hart, they're not anyone, they're not anyone that I would just be jumping up for joy to listen to anything that they have to say, because to me they lack the intellectual depth, the nuance, the vocabulary to say anything worthwhile, to say anything, especially Charlemagne, like just to say anything that I would be interested in hearing, because I'm really trying to hold on to the last bits of my brain cells, because the way that I keep seeing dumb shit over and over on social media, it's just draining my brain power. You see what I'm saying? So being that I'm trying to hold on to the last bit of my IQ points, I would not really too much be interested in anything they have to say. So the only reason I say that, because I didn't go out looking for this clip, it landed on my timeline, and social media went crazy. It opened up a whole lot of debate and discussion about being gay in the black community. It opened up a discussion about barbershops to talk about. It opened up a discussion about black cishet men. So I want to focus on it. The way that it was set up, this clip was set up specifically focused on Kevin Hart, and I think it was Paul Rivera and Lil Nas X. And so they started it out by saying, you know what, Paul Rivera said, oh, you know what, Lil Nas, you made this announcement, and basically they're gaslighting him the whole time. They're gaslighting Lil Nas X the whole time. They're saying, well, we don't know, basically we don't know why you even felt the need to make this announcement. Someone shouted, who cares, in the beginning of the clip. Kevin Hart was just like, yeah, he said he's gay, so what? And then Lil Nas X came back at that with like, oh, well, it's not that we're forcing it. And it's very interesting that he had to, or he felt like he had to say that, because in my opinion, a lot of cishet black men will come at this gayness thing with the angle of, they may not say it like this, but this is how I interpret it, this is how it comes off. It's just like, oh, you can be gay, but we don't want to see that shit. You can be gay, but we don't announce that shit, because it would force us to navigate differently when around you, because we're used to shitting on you, just like Kevin Hart used to, oh, that's gay, stop, that's gay. It gives him so much life. You see on his face, it was just like, he said he's gay, so what? Like, let's move on from this topic. Like, let's stop talking about this shit. That's just the beginning part of it. And from that moment, I wondered how they would even, how would they treat Billy Porter or something? Somebody who does not navigate this world, this life, society as masculine like Lil Nas X does. I just wondered that real quick. And to me, it's kind of crazy, because everywhere that these straight men go, they talk about the pussy that they get. And you know, it opened up, like I said, a whole conversation about barbershops and how, you know, some gay men, a lot of gay men feel uncomfortable going into these spaces, especially feminine gay men, and, you know, including me. That's why my hairline looks like how it does half the time. But it's interesting that, like I said, Lil Nas had to say, oh, I'm not trying to force it, but straight men, they can talk about all the pussy that they get or that they claim to get. They can talk about their wives, they can talk about their whole straight ass lives with no pushback. But the minute that somebody says, hey, I'm gay, it's all of a sudden like, oh, why you gotta make an announcement? Oh, what's going on? There's no need. Who cares? Who cares? Obviously, it's important. And the way that they were talking, the way that they said, oh, you feel like you need to make an announcement? Yes, nigga. So then maybe y'all can stop doing the dumb shit and saying the dumb shit that y'all say about LGBT people, and maybe y'all will finally use your, you know, half brains to understand that there are LGBT people who exist within the black community, so we can erase some of this ridiculous homophobia that's going on. What are you talking about? Why can y'all talk about harassing girls who don't want to fucking speak to y'all corny asses, but I can't say that I'm gay? Like, why does that make you uncomfortable? That's something that you have to deal with. That's a personal struggle. That's some personal discomfort that you have to deal with on your own. It ain't my motherfucking business or fault. Bitch, I'm gay and I'm here. That's it. And we go on to see why he had to make an announcement like that. Lil Nas said in the clip, he said he grew to hate that. And then Kevin Hart said, grew to hate what? And then Lil Nas was like, I grew to hate homosexuality. He's like, well, why? And to me at that point, you're acting on purpose like a dumbass. You're missing the point on purpose, Kevin Hart. And that's exactly what Lil Nas said. Like, come on now, if you're really from the hood, that's what he said, if you're really from the hood, you would know why. And for Lil Nas to be gay, sitting around all these old ass, notorious homophobes, explaining things that they already know, because if they didn't know it, they wouldn't be using the very same stigmas, the very same homophobia to build whole careers. You see what I'm saying? So how can you act like, oh, you don't know what Lil Nas X is talking about when he said he grew to hate homosexuality because of the environment that he was in, and you're asking him why, as if you didn't just lose your whole Oscars thing because of you saying that you would break a dollhouse over your son's head if he was gay or some shit. Like, don't act like a dumbass. Don't act like what he's saying is just false or you don't know where it's coming from. Y'all niggas built whole careers off of being homophobic. Like, what are you talking about? So to sit here and act like homophobia isn't ingrained in so much of the black community, you're being obtuse. Lil Nas was saying that basically, I'm saying I'm gay, you know, I'm on top of the game, I'm successful, I'm showing that it really doesn't matter. And then they came back with this condescending, oh, there it is, exactly. But I just thought it was crazy. I thought it was crazy that they were sitting there grilling Lil Nas, gaslighting his ass, when he was saying clear, obvious things about the black community, and for them to sit there talking about, well, it doesn't matter. Why would you grow to hate yourself? Why would you grow to hate homosexuality? As if these very same men haven't been the ones spewing homophobic bullshit. And that's why I always discuss these homophobic jokes that y'all love to tell, because they have real world effects. Like, how do you think someone who's in the closet is going to be interpreting all this shit, the joking, and when a gay nigga walks by, all the snickering? How do you think that someone who is in the closet is going to feel about that? Like, you can't demand someone to be living in their truth. I hear so much about how y'all shit on down low men. Oh my goodness, these men are lying. They're not living in their truth. And then when somebody comes out, it's just like, why do you feel like you have to make that announcement? It's like, what do you want from niggas? These homophobic jokes that y'all talking about, or homophobic rhetoric, just homophobia in general, it seems like you never approach it. You never have that same energy when it comes to white people being racist. It's just like when they say that shit, all of a sudden now it's just cancel, 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 pitchforks, y'all writing whole threads and articles about how racist white people are, but y'all are literally using the same tactics to shit on LGBT people within your own community. Kevin Hart and others, but specifically Kevin Hart, was getting dragged because of this. Like, he's just acting, oh, what? How could you, homophobia in the black community? I never seen that before. When literally one of the main perpetrators of it, oh my God, why would you hate yourself? Oh, where did this come from? So he was getting his ass roasted and dragged. I'm talking about, and people, including myself, were referencing his car accident. It's just like, sis, you need to sit your ass down. If you in the hospital, go ahead and recover and shut your ass up. You see what I'm saying? All of a sudden now, when people were tagging and bagging Kevin Hart off of his accident or whatever, people were easily able to identify what was offensive and what was mean, and oh, that's going too far and shit. But beating your son's ass because he's gay, that's not too far. And I wonder why that's not going too far. It's obviously because of what you feel, your sentiments towards the LGBT community. If you feel like somebody should be shat on, when they get shat on, it's a joke. I thought that was interesting because it's like they were easily able to identify what was mean and that's offensive. Oh my, you shouldn't say that about Kevin Hart. Meanwhile, no matter how many mean tweets or whatever, mean social media posts come Kevin Hart's way, he's not gonna lose his life, he's not gonna lose his money, he's not gonna lose his power. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, this homophobic rhetoric leads to people dying, leads to people getting kicked out of their homes, leads to policies in government that will fuck up the whole community, including the black LGBT community. So I just don't understand how, on one hand, niggas are too sensitive because we don't like to hear certain things, but on the other hand, oh, that shit is going too far, it's mean. Like, just shut the hell up. I said this on Twitter. It seems like y'all are uncomfortable with the fact that, you know, LGBT people are gaining larger voices than they had before, places in government, places in social spheres, a lot more influence. So the pushback is harder than it was 50, 60 years ago, because now you can shit on us, but we can give y'all the same energy in return. You can say some violent homophobic shit, but we're not just going to sit here and take it. And you want to go back to the days where you could do that and we would be silent. You could do that and we'd have to just turn the other cheek. But when we punch y'all in the face right back with the same intensity, with the same viciousness and nastiness, you see how hard it stings, and you don't like that shit. Well, in order to get that to stop, all you have to do is stop being a homophobic asshole. So yeah, during that whole clip, it seemed like all these men, like I said, notorious homophobic notoriously homophobic men are just sitting around Lil Nas, who's a young, 20-year-old, unlike you, almost like Life Alert pushing ass niggas, young gay black man sitting around these motherfuckers acting like they don't know that homophobia exists within the black community when they themselves have been the pushers of it. That shit, it was like watching Inception. I was like, are these niggas really serious? Are they sitting down here acting like Lil Nas X had no reason to be apprehensive about coming out or nervous about it? Why he even said it in the first place, as if that's not an important thing to discuss, especially when he referenced like, oh, I want to show that if you like my music, I'm successful. My sexuality should not reflect on that in a negative light. Are they really sitting over here acting like they had no idea that someone could possibly hate themselves for being gay? If they sitting through all the bullshit, all the negativity, all the burning hells, all the jokes and lies that they tell on and about the LGBT community, are y'all niggas really gonna sit here and act like dumbasses for real? And I think a lot of the problem is that your homophobia is so intertwined into who you are that it becomes second nature. It's second nature. So you don't know, nor do you care about how it affects black LGBT people who you see and who you don't see, who are out and who is not out, because you are privileged in that aspect. You don't have to think about that shit. So when someone brings it to the forefront, it's almost like, oh, it's uncomfortable, we want to move on to the next topic, it shouldn't matter, you didn't need to make the announcement, and why would you even hate yourself in the first place? You need to have thick ass skin. It's just like, y'all can see clearly when racism affects the black community. You can see clearly when oppression from white people affects the black community. But when someone in your own community brings up the fact that some of the shit y'all straight people are doing is negatively affecting my mind, my community, and my life chances, all of a sudden you want to act like you dumb, like you didn't know. The shit is corny to me. The shit is whack. And how that video came off and being in real life situations, how people talk, how that shit comes off, it's almost like, get over it. Yeah, you're black and gay, we gonna talk shit regardless. Just get over it. We make homophobic jokes, get over it. What the hell did you expect? We're not gonna change our behavior. We're not going to even take into consideration why these things hurt your community. Why? Because your community does not fucking matter. That's how it comes off. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. I cannot wait to see how angry a lot of people are going to be in my comments, but I said what I said and I ain't changing it. You can be pressed. I'm still going to be black and gay, and I'm still going to be running my mouth. And on that note, you can have a good goddamn evening.